Okay, Waka, we're looking at journal page 43, complex numbers. All right, imaginary number is a number that is expressed in terms of the square root of a negative number. So I equals the square root of -1, okay? But now let's take it a little bit further. If we square both sides, the squared cancels the square root. So we can say that I squared equals -1. So I is equal to the square root of -1, and I squared is equal to -1. Okay, complex number is a number that can be expressed in the form of a plus bi, where a and b are real numbers and I equals the square root of -1. Every complex number has a real part a and an imaginary part b. So the complex number is a plus bi. If you would update your notes. All right. All right. Example 1. Identify the real and imaginary parts of the given number. Then tell which of the following sets the number belongs to. Real numbers, imaginary numbers, and complex numbers. Okay, so let's take a look at 10 plus 12i. The real part of 10 plus 12i is 10. And the imaginary part is 12. The number 10 plus 12i belongs to the complex numbers set. Okay, now let's take a look at 75. Okay, now we can write that as 75 plus 0i. So the real part of 75 is 75. And the imaginary part is 0. The number 75 belongs to the real number set and the complex number set. Okay, now let's take a look at I times the square root of 40. Well, we can write that as 0 plus I times the square root of 40. Okay, so the real part of I squared root of 40 is 0, and the imaginary part is the square root of 40. The number I squared root of 40 belongs to the complex number set and the imaginary number set. All right. Let's take a look at example 2. Add the complex numbers. Okay. Now put a 1 in front of the parentheses. Okay. So if you multiply by 1, that's 8 plus 3i plus multiply by 1, 10 plus 12i. Okay. Now we group the 8 and 10 together, so that's 8 plus 10, and then we group so we're done with the 8 and the 10, and then the plus 3i plus 12i. Okay, now we just add 8 plus 10 is 18, plus 3i plus 12i is 15i. Okay, all right, now let's take a look at example 3. Add the complex numbers. So put a 1 in front of the parentheses. Okay, so multiply by 1, so that's 4 plus 3i plus multiply by 1, that's 7 minus 5i. Okay. All right, now we combine the 4 plus 7 plus 3i minus 5i. Okay, so 4 plus 7 is 11. And then 3i minus 5i is minus 2i. Okay, go ahead and finish up example 3. All right, example 4, subtract the complex numbers. Okay, so put a 1 in front of the parentheses. So we multiply by 1, that's 3 plus 4i. But now we have to multiply by -1 by each of these. So that's minus 5 minus 11i. Okay, now we group. So that's 3 minus 5 and plus 4i minus 11i. Okay, 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And then 4 minus 11i is minus 7i. Okay, let's take a look at example 5. Okay, again, multiply by the 1. So that's 3 plus 9i. Now we multiply by negative 1, so that's minus 15. Now, a negative times a negative is a positive, so that's plus 1i. Okay, so let's group. So that's 3 minus 15 and plus 9i plus 1i. Okay, well, 3 minus 15 is negative 12, and then 9 plus 1i is plus 10i. All right, go ahead and finish up example 5. All right. All right, example 6. Multiply 5 plus 3i and 4 plus 8i. Okay, so let's do the box method first. So we're going to do 5 plus 3i right here and 4 plus 8i right here. Okay, now 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 3i is 12i. 8i times 5 is 40i. 8 times 3 is 24. And then I times I is I squared. Okay, so now we have 20 plus 40i plus 12i plus 24i squared. Okay, now we can combine these two terms. So that's 20 plus 40i and 12i is 52i. Plus, we know from our notes that I squared is negative 1. Okay, so then that's a negative 24. So now we have 20 minus 24 plus 52i. Okay, well, 20 minus 24 is negative 4, so it's negative 4 plus 52i. Okay, now that's using the box method. FOIL, we do 5 times 4, so that's 20, and then 5 times 8i, so that's plus 40i. Now we do 3i times 4, which is 12i, and then 3 times 8i, so that's plus 24i squared. Well, that's 20 plus 52i plus, we know that 24i squared is 24 times negative 1. So that's 20 plus 52i minus 24. We can group these together, so that's 20 minus 24 plus 52i. Okay, 20 minus 24 is minus 4 plus 52i. Okay, and again, you can choose which method you prefer, okay? All right, go and finish up example 6. All right, last example, example 7. We're going to multiply 8 plus 3i and 2 minus i. So 8 plus 3i and 2 minus, I'm going to put a 1 there, 1i. Okay, now 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 3 is 6i. Negative 1i times 8 is negative 8i. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And then I times I is I squared. Okay, so now we have 16 minus 8i plus 6i minus 3i squared. Well, we can group these together. So that's 16. Negative 8i and 6i is minus 2i. And then minus 3, I squared is negative 1. Well, a negative 3 times a negative 1 is a positive 3, so we get 16 minus 2i plus 3. We can group these together, so 16 plus 3 minus 2i. So then that's 19 minus 2i. Okay, now let's FOIL. So that's 8 times 2, which is 16. 8 times I is minus 8i. 3i times 2 is plus 6i. And then 3i times negative is minus 3i squared. Okay, so then we can group these together. So then that's 16 minus 2i minus 3 times I squared, which is negative 1. So then that's 16 minus 2i plus 3. We can group this together. So 16 plus 3 minus 2i. So 16 plus 3 is 19 minus 2i. All right. Go and finish up your examples and have a wonderful Wildcat day.